First question out the gate.
Out the gate.
All right. If your daughters
Oh, shit.
wanted to follow in your footsteps and become an Instagram model, would you teach them the ways?
No.
Would
not,
you?
Not an Instagram model.
Would you give them your Fashion Nova code?
I don't have any Fashion Nova codes. But if I had them, no. They'd have to earn theirs the same way I earned mine. This guy's terrible.
Oh, my God. All right, anyway, so how old are your daughters right now?
So I have a 12-year-old and I have a 7-year-old.
Okay.
No names.
No names?
No names.
And we'll get into that later. But at what point in your life did you become a father? Like, where were you?
17. I
You
had
were 17.
Oh, well, I'll give you the nicknames. So Mook is the oldest. Mookie is the oldest. Sonny is the youngest, obviously.
Sonny.
Mookie I had at 17 years old. Never forget, I was on my the last winter break of senior year. Like, so, you know, you have winter and you have spring.
Yes.
So everybody had planned to do like something. And the mother had went into labor. I guess maybe probably over the weekend.
Okay.
Had the baby. Or no, not had the baby. I'm trying to remember how the sequence of events goes. So the whole time she was pregnant, that wasn't my girlfriend. That was somebody else's girlfriend. And so the whole time she was pregnant, everybody was like, it's the other guy's baby. So I guess at the last minute, she must have told him that maybe it's not, or whatever case may be, gives me a call, calls my mom. Because she had been calling my phone, and I was not answering for nothing. I'm like, yo.
Right.
Why is this girl calling me? You better go have that man's baby. Leave me be. My mom comes running downstairs that Monday. It's like, such and such is having a baby. Let's go. I said, what business is that of ours? She said, well, her mother says that it's yours. And I said,
wow.
How's that possible? And she was like, you know how it's possible. I said, no. I did what they said to do in all the videos.
No.
I did that. And so this can't be happening. But yeah, we went there. I remember taking that long ride. I'm from Long Island, so I remember taking that long ride from North Babylon to Stony Brook. And I just remember like it feeling like a movie because once you hit I forget what road it is or what highway, whatever it's called. But as soon as you get towards Stony Brook, there's these real country like flowers. Like whopping willow. I don't know what
Weeping willows.
Weeping willow, something like that. I think that's what they're referred to. And it's just that in the road. And literally my mind started thinking of everything. Like, yo, what if this is my baby? What if this is my baby? Now I got to do this. I got to do that. We get to the hospital, and she's going into labor and having the baby, and I'm still 17 years old. I'm like, I hate this girl. Why am I here? Then I heard the whines, and there's my baby.
Wow. And was the other dude at the hospital?
At that point, I guess leading up to that week, I guess she had told him about the dates or something, whatever. Somebody must have, or maybe he's seen a phone. I forget. We don't really speak, so I forgot what, but somehow, some way he knew, or she told him that there's a chance it's mine or it's mine, whatever the case may be. Yeah, lit. The Maury shit was lit in high school. You feel me? But yeah, I remember seeing her, and you really don't need a DNA test when you have a black mother.
Yo, I'm about to say, the moms was like, yo, that's your baby. Oh, that's my son's baby. All right, we on our way.
As soon as Mookie was here, my mom looks at her and says, she looks just like you. Oh my gosh. She starts pointing out the little parts. And I'm like, get out of here. Get out of here. And then, but my mom had a baby picture. And she put that baby picture right next to my baby. And I said, oh.
Wow.
But then I said, I was a little light when I was born. All light-skinned babies look alike. Still got that DNA test. And yep, I became a father at 17, 2007.
So you didn't even have time to prepare like the 9-month lead up.
No.
You didn't have a relationship with. Wow.
So I didn't like the boyfriend.
Okay.
And so, you can only fight somebody's butt so many times. And so I was not a good person. I wasn't a very good kid. So I said, oh, what would get under his skin? His girlfriend. So that's how that started.
Wow.
And it backfired on me.
Boom.
In my face. In my face.
Yo, all right. So 17 years old.
Yeah.
You're a father.
Yep.
How does that?
I am somebody's. I don't think I became a father until later on. I was responsible for. I was responsible for 50% of this child's genealogy.
Right.
I wasn't a father yet. Nah.
Okay. So why weren't you a father yet? Did you just not know?
Yeah, I didn't know.
Okay.
I was doing things off of repetition. I was doing things with I was doing things with this sense of entitlement that I don't operate with anymore in anything. But there was a sense of entitlement, like, oh, I do this, I'm the greatest dad in the world. I do this, I'm the
Right.
dad.
I went
I'm
through
big
that
man.
phase.
You got me?
Yep.
So, especially doing it as a kid in the street at 17, like I'm putting
Right.
Similac on it. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I was doing everything. Everything. My mom would not have it no other way. My mom was like, I don't know where this money coming from, but I know where it's gonna go.
Going. Wow.
And so yeah, I just remember being in, I've been in situations I talked about on It's the Real. I remember there was a situation I was on this busy block in my neighborhood, and a guy I had beef with. I was pushing a stroller up the block, and a guy I had beef with had pulled by. He stopped. And he looks at me, and like gave that head nod. And I remember trying to run back to like having this kid. I remember like pushing the stroller as fast as I could, running to get back to the house so I wouldn't have this kid in safety. I'm in danger. Like that.
Wow.
That's what was going on when you have a 17-year-old turning 18 as a father.
Right.
Yeah. So no, I wasn't. I was, like I said, I was 50. I was the parental
Right.
guardian,
Right.
parental,
You
whatever
were-
you call it.
right,
I was
right.
not a father. Words mean things. I was not a father
Man.
until she was like 3.
Now did old boy see the stroller and back off?
I don't know. I
Okay.
didn't give him a chance. He
just
seen me, gave
bailed.
me a head nod. So I was known in the neighborhood, always be prepared.
Mhm.
Like everybody knew that. Like you wasn't gonna catch me slipping.
Right.
So I think he in his mind was like,
Oh yeah.
all right, let me go get ready. Then.
Right.
You get what I'm
Okay.
saying? So that's why I think he pulled off.
Wow.
But I'm very happy that he pulled off.
Right.
And that was the last situation like that I ever had it in, because 2 weeks later I joined the military.
Right. Man. All right. So, where did you go? How did you start to put the pieces together?
So when I come back out the military, so while I'm in the military, I'm
Mhm.
going through hell with the child's mother. Like she's
Right.
just, she's back with the other guy, and
Wow.
he's getting mad at her, burning up her clothes and my daughter's clothes, and it, I'm a man of morals and a certain stature in our neighborhood, so it's like,
Right.
oh, he's wilding, but I'm nowhere near, and I can't do nothing about it, and it's just like, this girl's an idiot, and my parents, I have them. I'm very protective over family, and especially family's presentation. My family, it sounds a little pretentious, but my family raised me better than that, right?
Right.
They raised me better than to be some street kid running around. They definitely raised me better than to have a child with someone in
Right.
this situation.
Right.
But lo and behold, there they were, and they're doing their best to stand in for me. So they're in uncomfortable positions at, babies, at birthday parties and things of that
Right.
nature. So I always took that into account, always took that close to heart.
That's dope.
But I was still away. So I was a dad, but I was only a dad in tattoo, if that makes sense. Like I had a name tattooed on me.
Right.
And, I was getting paid more money from the military because I had a child. And I could claim that on my taxes, but
Right.
I was literally only a dad in tattoo.
Wow.
I wasn't there. I was
Right.
living my life every single day as if I didn't have a child.
Man.
Only time I noticed I had a child is when my mom told me, maybe, my mom would see something and she'll be like, hey, send me some money so I could get this for, Mookie, or, the 1st and the 15th when I seen that came out of my check.
Right.
Other than that, the wherewithal I have now,
Right.
like of every day being cognizant,
Mhm.
even me and their mother not together, I'm still cognizant every day I'm a father. There's something I have to do for these kids.
Right.
I didn't have that then. You know
Right.
what I mean? So it didn't begin until I got back. And when I got back, like I said, my daughter was in a few bad positions, a few bad spots. She wasn't being cared for and raised properly.
Mm.
And I don't say that in the same way that any dad who's not with the mom says. I mean,
Right.
I went through the proper channels to prove this. They agreed, and we're in the state of New York. This don't ever happen.
Oh, never.
I got custody of my
Right.
daughter when she was
Wow.
3. As soon as I came out the military. So I've had her since she was 3. And at that moment is when the shit hit the fan, because now I remember saying to my mom, like, whoa, this what? This is how it goes.
Right.
So yeah, I got custody of her when she was 3. So that's 2010. I got custody of her, and then shortly after that, or during that time actually, because I just came back from the military, is when I met my youngest daughter's Sonny's, when I met her mother.
Right.
And I refer to her as both of their mothers, because from that day, from the time we met, I had just got custody of my oldest. She jumped right in.
Wow.
Jumped right in. She didn't have no kids. She's young, with the same age, so this is new to her.
Right.
But she jumped right in.
Now,
and
did you have a relationship with her before?
We met in 2010.
Wow.
Met in 2010. We met. Me and their mother met in June of 2010. I get custody of Mookie August 2010.
Man.
So she jumped right in the fight, and
that's amazing.
Yeah. So I've had a great support group when it comes to raising Mook, and but that's when I really started being a father, because now it's on me. Everything is on me. Everything is on me. That I do not get no, and I'm not saying this to trash her, because will she the trash, but
right.
She's not around. I don't get no help from her, no financial help, nothing.
Right.
Nothing. I don't get anything.
No visitation, nothing.
I get a once in a blue, uncomfortable pop-up, like, what the fuck are you doing here?
Wow.
That's what happens. Like, there's no regard for that. I'm doing everything on my own. So that's when it hit the fan. I was like, oh, I am a dad. Now that's when I became a father.
Man.
Yeah.
All right. So where are you in your life when you have Sonny?
So Sonny comes in Sonny comes New Year's Day 2012. So I am in a relationship. I am actually married. I'm married in a relationship, obviously with a woman. And we planned Sonny. Like,
nice.
Yeah. I am a kid from Long Island still, mentally. So at that time, I'm 22 years old.
Okay.
So 5 years apart from Mook. But that's when Sonny comes. Sonny comes on New Year's Day, 2012. She is the second baby born in New York. No. First baby born in New York, second baby born in the country.
What are you talking about? On that day?
On New Year's.
Wow.
We would have been the first by literally missed it by a minute. If they would have induced her an hour earlier, we would have been good. Got a little check or something. But nothing, just a funny tidbit about 2012.
Right.
But yeah. So I'm definitely a father. Definitely ready to be a father, and definitely ready to make up for all the lost time that I missed with Mook, with Sonny.
Right.
So there's constantly now that I look back at it, there's constantly that, did I treat her differently? Or there's the realization that I did treat them differently.
Right.
And I was more involved, and I was purposely more involved with Sonny because I was there from the beginning.
Right.
And there was no unlearning. There was no undoing process. So a lot of that bonding that you would do just genuinely,
right,
me and Mook missed out on, because I was unlearning so many bad traits and trying to, not brainwash, but trying to erase whatever terrible shit she had went through, because she went through a lot for 3 years. In 3 years, she had seen things that adults will never see. You get what I'm saying?
Man.
So and you could just see it. And so to try and unlearn that while also being over here and being here from the jump with this baby, it was a lot. But, I like to think I did a pretty good job. I know I took the first year, not that I was doing anything taxable, but I definitely took that first year of Sonny's life off and was a stay-at-home dad.
Wow.
So
you dove in.
Yeah, shout out to her mother. She went to work, and I was the stay-at-home dad.
Wow.
So I always will appreciate her for, giving up that moment for me.
Right.
Because she didn't have to.
That's amazing.
She missed out on she missed out on her first steps and first words and all that stuff that I was right there for.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's now I start to understand a little more about why you have the relationship you have with your daughters. And we're going to get into, into that, but back to Mook, how aware is she of the situation of you and her mom? In terms of like, does she understand that you kind of uprooted her? And
yeah. Because at 3, I always feel like kids in adversity or kids in adverse situations, they're always more inept and they're always more in tune and aware of their surroundings than most, as you would, right? So, because they don't have the liability, they don't have the not liability. I'm sorry, they don't have the luxury of being a kid.
Right.
So at 3, she had to learn coping mechanisms and just awareness that you wouldn't expect it. That Sonny definitely didn't have at 3.
Right.
Sonny at 3 was just, you know what I mean? Mook is damn near an adult at 3 before I get there. You get what I'm saying?
100%.
So yeah, she's aware at 12.
Okay.
And, we've had conversations like I said, I'm always surprised at the thing that comes in that mouth when it comes to that situation. But then I also remember that I am a child. I am a product of a parent who isn't with the other parent household, and I remember being that aware. You know what I'm saying? I remember knowing that there's some tension here or there's some shit here. So yeah, I think she's pretty aware.
Word.
Pretty aware. More aware than I would like her to be, obviously.
Word. And now, like, let's talk about your relationship with your girls. What's the style of father you would say you are?
It's always transitional. That's what it's fluid.
Okay.
It's fluid and it's transitional. Obviously I'm dad. I am dad. I'm not your best friend. We could do that later.
Right.
I don't want to be your best friend because that means you're gonna have to share some stuff with me that I don't want to know.
Right.
But
that's
no,
hilarious.
I am dad, and they know that. They appreciate. That's the thing. My kids are so appreciative that it is unreal. So they understand I'm super protective. They understand that, and they cater to it. They know not to open doors around me. They know not to pull out their own chairs. They know not to. They know not to walk on the outside. Like, they know that. They know what will trigger me. You get what I'm saying? Like, they know what will. If we're out somewhere and it's a lot of people, Sonny will she'll grip my hand a little tighter because she knows Daddy's going through it a little bit.
Right.
Same thing with Mook. They're very nurturing. My kids are very nurturing. And I mean, I attribute that to the village of women that's around. My mom, their mother, my friends. They see that, and then my kids jump right in. So yeah, sometimes they think they're my mother or my girlfriend. Like, I'm checking in with them sometimes.
Yo.
I'm like, hey, is this okay? All right.
Yo, that's
I'll get a text
hilarious.
message. Now they got iPad and stuff, so they'll text me and like, we didn't hear. I'm like, whoa. First of all, let's relax. Like, where are you now? I'm like, working.
So what's the household dynamic? Are y'all all together in one house? Okay.
No. They live with their mother.
Okay.
The woman that raised both of them, they're with them, and I am not.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So how does that work with co-parenting?
They have the most amazing mother in the world. You could not ask for a better mother. So it is super. Once again, it's just super fluid, man. There's not a whole bunch of back and forth. There's not a whole bunch of there's bickering because, obviously we're two adults who did not end on
the
great terms.
Right.
So obviously there's some bickering. But when it comes to those kids, we're literally a team. We're always on the same page. And I allow her to be mom, and she super, super allows me and what's the word? Cultivates an atmosphere for me to be dad.
Wow.
And there's never that weird.
Ooh.
Yeah, like there's never a weird. Literally the best mother you can ever ask for. Literally, whenever I want my kids, I just pop up and they're there and they're ready, and there's none of that. You know what I mean? There's no arguing over money, bickering over money. It's none of that.
Word. Now, was that how did that relationship always exist, or how did you have to get to a point?
From the minute we broke up, it was already. But I think because we had already laid that groundwork during the relationship, that no matter what, like, and we've always said that no matter what, we've never argued. We've never been in contingency over our loyalty to one another and our loyalty to our kids. So when we broke up, there was never no custody, none of that. Like, when I signed those papers, like, we wrote whatever bullshit down to appease the courts in the divorce proceeding, but she knows. Like, she don't play with me about my kids. Like, she don't play with me about my kids.
That's amazing, man. That's unreal. I'm like speechless.
It's fluid. Fluid is the perfect word.
All right, so what would you say is or has been your biggest failure as a father? There's always great lessons in
allowing
failure.
my kids to see me and their mother dissolve because it wasn't necessary.
For them to see it, how did they see it? Like, just the process?
Yeah, they just seen the process.
Okay.
And I think that's my biggest failure because especially the move. She's been through so much already. So to give some type of normalcy and then take it away.
Right.
And now for her to get used to something else. It's rough. And especially at 12. You know, you're 6 years away from 18.
Yeah.
You're formulating your thoughts on life and on relationships at this point. So allowing them to see that relationship dissolve in the manner it did. Because like I said, it didn't have to. We didn't grow apart. We just got tired of doing the work. So allowing them to see that.
And how would you, if you could have done it over, how would you have sheltered them rather from that?
I don't think there was a way.
So you think you would have just stuck it out?
I don't know if we were able to. Like, we were so passionate about us, and so we were even more passionate in the breakup. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And they seen it. And we were kids. We got married at 21, 22 years old.
Right.
You know what I mean? No, I lied. I was 22. She was 23. I said when we got married, we were kids,
babies, 100%,
fucking children. And mind you, I'm a super indoctrinated kid because I just came out of an institution that I went into at 17.
Right.
So I went into the military at 17. So I came out the military mentally at 17.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I wasn't an adult.
Not at all.
So we just weren't equipped.
Right.
So I don't know if there was any way in changing that. But we brought 2 lives in this world. Or we at least took responsibility for 2 lives in this world. And like I said, we've always been adamant about making sure we live up to that.
What do you say is the toughest thing about being a father, specifically to girls?
The unknown. Like, I look at your situation. Jesus Christ, dude, I'm uncomfortable. Sorry.
No, that's all good.
I look at your situation. I look at the situation of people that only have boys, and I'm like, it's rough raising black boys in our culture, in our community, in our country. But God damn, at least you know, for the most part, you know what to expect. I have no idea what to expect.
Wow.
I have zero idea what to expect because, sure, personalities are different, but for the most part, there's two kind of men in this world. You're either gonna get one or the other. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Women, there's so many.
Right.
And then they're black women. There's so many personalities I deal with that they go throughout one day. And I just want to be like, hey, I'm here, sis. That right there, because like raising 2 black girls in today's society, man, it's rough.
Word.
I gotta teach them accountability. Or I gotta introduce them to accountability. I think their mother teaches them. I introduce them to accountability. But then there's, my kids are fair skinned. They're fair skinned black girls. So now I gotta teach them about the privilege that comes with that. But then I also have to teach them about the other side that isn't so privileged that comes with that. Get what I'm saying?
Right.
So I gotta teach them how to deal with these ain't shit niggas. I gotta teach them how to deal with white men. I gotta teach them how to deal with white women. Ooh. I gotta teach them. It's so much unknown that goes, and then out of nowhere, boom, here comes titties and
my
and
God.
periods and
Right.
and I'm I'm looking at my kid and I'm like, yo, your chest is grown. Get the hell away from me.
Wow.
Whoa, what's happening here? But yeah, that the unknown. There's so much unknown because I'm not a woman.
Right.
I'm not a woman, and I'm like not one of these hands off dads. Like,
right.
So that's the part.
Okay.
That part.
All right. So what you do know,
Mm-hmm.
and what you can kind of get ahead of,
Right.
is boys. So what kind of groundwork? What are the things
I have
that you're
accepted,
doing?
and it wasn't until I had to like take this introspective look over like how ancient I was as a little boy. I mean, how I was a man. Like until a few years ago, like I had to take a look at that. There's no getting in front of that. There's none. Because there's always, if I get in front of it, he's gonna get around it.
Wow.
That's our job. As little boys, our job was to get around the obstacles. I've jumped out of windows. I've climbed fire escapes. I've went across borough.
Right.
Like all to get girls. So
yo, you are absolutely right.
If there's no way to get in front of it because they will get around it.
And you know what's crazy too about
that you're raising the op. That's the problem.
Not that I'm not raising the ops. Trust me, my sons are the ones that you want your daughters.
No, I don't want them around anybody until 30.
But listen, I'm just thinking back, like the good girls, the challenge, that was even way more rewarding.
You get what I'm saying? There's no way
to crack, so to speak.
Oh God,
that was way more rewarding and fulfilling as a creep.
Exactly. So now, what do we do? Right? So now I do. What I've realized is that by doing everything I'm doing, as just being a good man, as being a good man visibly to their mother and to their grandmother and to their aunts and all this, that will do my job for me. And that's all I could rest on. It would be super pretentious, super misogynistic, super antiquated to believe that just because I'm a good man, that my daughter is going to be attracted to a good man or be attracted to a certain, or because I give this perception of some type of man, of my version of a good man, that she'll be attracted to that. No. Right. Unfortunately, we are raising whole entire people, and they have their own outlook. And it's not just, unfortunately, it's not just based on their dad.
Right.
So I realized, like, I remember Mook was telling me that her cousin, which is a boy, wasn't walking on the outside of his mom, her aunt. And she told him, like, you got to walk on the outside.
That's what's up.
And I was like, okay, it's catching on.
Right.
And then she said, some boy was walking in school and didn't hold the door open for her, and she like rolled his eye. Like that was the antithesis of her having a bad day. Word. So now in my mind, I know that is
those seeds are planted.
So I'm planting the seeds.
100%.
I can only hope that the life her experience is watering them.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best.
Right.
But yeah, there's nothing we can get a hold of as boys. I could just give you a heads up that these niggas ain't shit.
That's it.
All of them. Even the ones that think they are, those are the worst ones.
Now, how are you going to be like screening dudes?
Yes. Now, I'm going to be very toxic. I want everybody to understand that now. I don't know if you have a woke audience and all that. Hey, guys, if you thought I was super with the shits, I am not. I am going to be super toxic when it comes to that because I do not care what anybody says. I don't care about these BuzzFeed words. I don't care about these fucking black what's that?
What?
Blavity. I don't care about those words and those think pieces.
Right.
When it comes to I take accountability for the women in my life.
Right.
So I'm not just like that with my kids. I'm like that with my homegirls that I consider family. I'm like that with their mom. I'm like that with my mom. I'm like that with their aunts. If you're in my life and you're a black woman, I take accountability for you. So yeah, I want to know who you're dating, and I want to make sure they're up to par because I hold a bar for you. I hold a standard for you, and if they're not going to meet that, then hey, you'll do what you want, but they're going to be very uncomfortable around me.
Now, how are you avoiding them just keeping that away from you?
I don't know. And what I don't know can't hurt me.
Dog.
I do not go searching for information to hurt me.
Right.
But
have they volunteered information about boys?
I am starting to hit Mook is in the 6th grade.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Funny story about that. We go to 6th grade orientation the beginning of this year. And if you listen, and for the listeners that listen to the Clubhouse podcast, they know about Nico. They know about Nico very much. Yeah. So we're sitting there, we're getting the locker assignments and all that. I'll never forget, she's sitting on my right shoulder. Her chin is on top of the shoulder, so her heart is leaning right against my back shoulder, right? Mm-hmm. So I can feel a heartbeat. I remember feeling that.
Yo, that's
and then I remember looking, I was listening to the people talking, like, hey, parents, PTA, da, 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 and I remember that heartbeat speeding up. And I didn't think none of it. I'm just like, what the hell? Like, so I, thinking, whatever. I just remember that this heartbeat is on my back shoulder.
Right.
And literally, I just happened to look to my right. A little boy, looks like Bruno Mars. He's walking into the school. And literally, my daughter drops her voice and says, "Oh, Nico." And I wanted
in your ear.
I wanted to punch everyone in attendance. I said, "Who the fuck is Nico? Nico's about to die." And I see Nico, and I see the way she, and I remember he said hi, and she like melted, and I was like,
Yo.
But I have not heard about Nico since. She said Nico did something that I think he like flipped his eyelids or something, and that really turned her off.
Yeah,
so that was
yeah.
So shout out to things in school never changing.
Exactly.
Boys will continue to gross you out and disappoint you. Thank you, Nico.
Right.
But just for the record, Nico, mom likes me. So
man.
Just always remember that, Nico, if you're listening. Your mom likes me. She's a fan. She follows me. So whatever you do to my daughter,
hilarious.
I'm gonna do to your mother.
Wow.
You remember that, Nico? You remember that?
Yo. So what has your daughters teach you about women that you didn't know before? How have they impacted you?
They didn't teach me anything because teached isn't a word. They've taught me.
I hate you so much.
It's the Philly in him.
I hate you so much, dog. Just answer the question.
Oh, man.
Are you learning things from these girls?
I'm learning things from my kids as individuals, but I am unlearning so much more that I thought that I knew about women. I thought that I should be treating women with them. I'm also unlearning this very toxic thing we do as men, that we don't validate women usually until we have women offspring or until we realize that our mother is a woman, right? So we tend to not validate. So I hear this a lot from men, and I was one of them. I just was able to get that thought process out of my mind a little earlier because I've been a father since I was 17. But I hear this thing from men all the time, like, I had a daughter. Now I realize, what women be going through. I realize women have been women before you became a father.
Right.
You know what I mean? Their experience didn't need to be validated by your, you becoming a father. So that is probably the biggest thing that I am unlearning is that these women are women prior, right? And I can't dictate how I'm going to interact with women based on my interaction with my children.
Right.
It has to all be separate experiences, and I have to be respecting and validating them separately at all times.
Word. All right. So how have they impacted like your dating life?
I'm very protective over them, so nobody meets them.
Okay.
And even if I meet somebody that I'm probably gonna marry, or be with forever, not 100% sure how. At least as children, I'm not 100% sure how involved that person would be, just because I don't think that's necessary.
100%.
They have the most amazing mother, most fulfilling mother that anyone could ask for. They have a mom. They don't need another mom.
Word.
So they don't impact because, like I said, anybody who deals with me doesn't have to you'll never see them.
Right.
Outside of, unless it's like a dire situation. That's about it. It doesn't. Other than that, it doesn't impact. I mean, unless a woman says I don't date men who have kids, and then I'd be kind of screwed.
But now you won't give your kids names. Understandable.
Mm-hmm.
You share a lot on the gram.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen your daughters.
You won't.
Why? What's the thought process behind
I'm
that?
a public figure. They're not.
Right.
I signed up for this. They didn't. That's number one, first and foremost. Number two, I would say first and foremost is the fact that I understand where I come from, understand what I've done in the past, and I understand that just because I'm in a different space doesn't mean the people who were affected adversely are in a better place. So I don't offer anyone any free shots at me. So you don't get to see my kids. You don't get to see their mother. You don't get to see my mother. You don't get to see. I don't post anybody who I don't believe can defend themselves. You know what I'm saying? So you don't see those people. My kids obviously first and foremost on that list. Right. So yeah, no. Also, the internet is a nasty place, Disgusting. And I am not mature enough to let things die on the internet. What? So if there's pictures of my kids, and I'm always on platforms talking about how important my kids are to me, they're gonna take a shot at my kids. And I'm not mature enough to let it in there. I'm searching IP addresses. I'm coming to see you, my brother. Right. There's just that. And then most importantly, we survive in this industry as, these public figures, personalities. I think we survive not, at least for me, I survived this not from the publicly shared experiences, but from the experience I'm able to keep private. Wow. That is my feeding source. That is my energy source. Word. So when people believe big crowds and all this, that's not my energy source. That's not what I feed off of. That's a byproduct. The energy that I'm able to pull from is them. Word. So keeping that private is probably the most important thing and most vital thing to me, being able to continue this journey.
Word. That's amazing. Now, how do you feel about them on social media? She's in 6th grade.
No Instagram.
Okay.
I turned so their iPads are linked to my I'm the parent account on it, so so everything has to get approved by me still, apps, all of that. And I seen over the summer, we didn't even have to talk about it. Seen that request for Instagram go out. Denied. And she didn't even ask about it. Now usually when she requests a game, she'll text me, "Daddy, can you help?" Right. Nope. Wow. She didn't ask about it. She didn't say that. She knew. I think she was just testing the water. Right. No, but they're on the TikTok thing. Mm-hmm. They're on the Musical.ly thing. They're on the Sunny low-key is kind of fire on the Musical.ly joint too. Like, word. She got like mad followers on that shit too. Word. Like that shit is crazy.
That's what's up.
But yeah, no social media until probably about till 14, 15. Yeah, probably like about 14, 15, where I think where you've been able to come up and identify yourself without social media. A lot of kids been on here since like 10, 11, 12. Your validation comes from that. I want your validation to come from you and your real life experiences. So I feel by 14, 15, because that's when we got it. Right. Well, when I say we, you're a little older than me, but era. Yeah, my era, that's when we got it. Like, right. MySpace came out when I was like 14, 15. Word. So and look at that. People my age and older are still looking for validation on these sites 100%. As the whole adults. So imagine giving it to a 10-year-old, a 12-year-old. Mm-hmm. Nah. Word. Fuck out of here. Word. That's where I'm very firm. That's when there's no fluidity here. There's no right. Dad said no.
And that's that.
Word.
All right, last question. Define.
Philly, man.
Shut up, man. Define a father. In your words, in your experience, what is a father? I'm a firm believer in you can't fulfill a role that has not been defined.
So to define a father, it's 2 words, and I need you to bleep them out. Vaughn Hunter. That's my dad. Or you could just bleep out the first name. Okay. There's 1,000 Hunters in the world. But right. Vaughn Hunter, that's a father. A man who stepped in, met my mom in 95. Met my mom in November of 95. February of 96, they're married. I'm 6 years old. I've never not had a father since that day. I've never not had somebody at a basketball game, a wrestling match, a fight, multitudes of fights, let's say that. Never not had somebody in that principal's office a multitude of times defending me, knowing I was dead wrong. He's never not had my back. I've never known since I was 6. From the age of 0 to 6, all those cognizant years from probably 4 to 6, I knew that pain of not having a dad. At 6 years old, Vaughn Hunter stopped that. And that's my superhero. That's my role model. That's my dog. That's my heart right there. He's tatted on my arm. My biological father done tatted on my body. You get what I'm saying? Like, that man right there, that's my dad. That's a father. And I hope, and I tell her all the time, with a few tweaks, I hope that I am doing my best Vaughn Hunter impression every day as a father.
That's dope. All right, well, now you open a whole nother can of worms.
Yeah.
So 0 to 6. You said you know the pain of not having
Definitely
a father.
from 4 years old to 6, I remember every disappointment from that man.
Oh, so you're referring to the
my biological father.
Okay, so what were your expectations from 4 to 6, and what pain were you experiencing?
So the crazy part is, and I think now, I think that I grew up without expectation just because I think that's just who I've always been, right? He would put expectation in my life. If you say, I'm coming to get you at 5 on Saturday, be ready. Oh, I'm gonna be. I've always loved clothes. I've always loved dressing good, looking good. So I got on my best to go with dad. Right. And then when dad don't come, you introduced expectation from me, and you introduced disappointment to me. Right. I remember those times thoroughly. Man, I vividly remember those times crying myself to sleep in my grandmother's bed. I remember these times vividly. And I remember getting to the point where I met my dad, the man who raised me. Right. I remember getting to the point where I met him, and I remember expecting to be disappointed by this man. And I remember having a very low bar for him as well. Like, all you have to do is be better than this nigga. Right. Because I just want a dad. Right. Man. I just wanted that. So funny. I think he still has it to this day. I think I seen it the other day, and I almost teared up a little bit. But real nigga, shout out to toxic masculinity. Ain't no tears. I remember I had bought for my biological father. I remember I was like in kindergarten. It was Father's Day. I remember you have the Father's Day fair. So I remember I bought him a keychain. I had my little money, bought him a keychain. I think I got it from like the barber shop. My mom didn't even know. She didn't send me to school with no money. Bought the little keychain. I did not see that man from the time I bought that keychain till far after I met my dad, the man who raised me. So I ended up giving my dad that keychain. Never did I not see that keychain. I seen it the other day. It was like broken. Right. Because it's 20 plus years old. Right. Well, not that old. All right. It's 20 plus years old. And I remember like almost tearing, like, this is my dad. Right. And, I just always have those moments with him. That's what's what I mean? I literally always have these moments that, like, always, especially as an adult, just always have these moments where I'm looking like, yo, this is my dad. Like, that's my dad. It's constant. And I hold him on a pedestal because, like, you didn't have to do this. Right. You could have just been with my mom. You could have, you had two kids with her. Right. These 2 kids, that's not statistics. They are raised in a house with a mother and a father. You could have just treated him. You could have said, yo, that's that man's problem. Right. You ain't just do that. Listen, you put on. Right. So that's my heart.
And so how is your relationship with him when you become a father? Is he dropping game on you? Or you checking in on him?
He was disappointed. He was disappointed.
I mean, him being like a father, you being a father, yeah. Like, what type of game is he giving you? Oh, are you reaching out to him like, yo, what am I supposed to do?
My dad has always been one, or maybe it's me. I don't know which one of us it is. All he got to do is live. I've been learning from him living since 1996. Example. Right. You don't have to tell me. Right. Obviously, we've had conversations, and it's like, we've had conversations about, how because with my mom, he has 2 girls. I have 2 little sisters from him. So he knows that he has 2 little girls. I have 2 little girls. Right. So I'm just watching. That's it. I mean, obviously we have conversations
Right,
about,
of
you know,
course.
the differences and things of that nature, and, you know, how you got to be a man and what being a man means. But never once did we have like one of these like breakdown lectures about raising daughters. Like, I
Okay.
just watched him. I just watched
Word.
him. And like I said, hope to do my best impression.
Word.
I hope, you know, just because the way he was raised in the time period he was raised, there's some things, some nuance about today's world that
Right.
he's not 100% bought in on.
Yep.
So that's where we differ.
Right.
But other than that, I'm stealing pages out of his book all day long.
Word. Dope. Perfect, man. That's it. That's all I got.
That's it?
That's it, man.
There was I didn't get to talk about no ratchet stuff, no women, nothing.
No, bro. This ain't.
Do I get a shirt?
You
The shirt
get that
is
on
fire.
your platform. I'm glad you said that.
Do I get a shirt?
Absolutely.
I need a shirt.
I got a plethora of merch that I'll let you
Sift through?
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Yeah, man.
That shirt is fire.
That's what's up. All right. One more thing.
Mm-hmm.
I would love for you to